Two new flashlights from Nitecore. We're going to go over the EDC25 right now. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video for the EDC25. The EDC25 is an ultra slim tactical EDC flashlight, hence the name EDC. It has 3,000 lumens. There's two UHI 20 LEDs. Now, some of the things that are included, there's no need for a battery because it has a lithium-ion battery. There's a lanyard inside here, and you also get a USB-C charging cable. The output on it is 3,000 lumens. Max intensity is 22,500 cadellas. Max distance is 300 meters. Your impact resistant up to 1 meter. Your IP rating is IP54 rating, which means it is not submersible. It's not really even waterproof. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. I think this will be a great flashlight for you guys to carry if you're doing EDC or anything like that. All right, so as we unbox it, this is how the light comes. It's inside this like little blister pack. Woo, we got a little bit of a light there. We get, like I said, you get a lanyard. You get a little quick reference card. This card has your model number. You can write your model number, serial number, date of purchase, and store stamp on there. An owner's manual, and your USB-C charging cable. All right, we'll go ahead, put that off to the side. Let's go over the owner's manual before we go over any of the other stuff. Now, this owner's manual may look a little intimidating at first because when you go to open it, it just goes on and on and on forever. That is because it is several different languages, and it's not really as big as this is made out to be. It really turns out to be more closer to about this size right here. Okay, let's go over some of the other good features of this flashlight. Your lumens are 3,000 lumens on turbo. On high is 1,000. Mid is 200 lumens. Low is 65 lumens. Ultra low is 15. You have a strobe at 3,000 lumens. That's a lot of lumens for a strobe. Don't look at it, you're going to go blind. Here's your runtime hourly. If you're running high, it's going to be 1 hour, 30 minutes. Mid, 4 hours. Low is going to be about 14, and ultra low is going to be about 55 hours. Your candelas are 22,500 candelas, 8,100 candelas, 2,000, 680, and 145. Excuse me. We already went over the IP rating. The IP rating is 54. Again, it's not water resistant, so we're not going to be doing any submerging or water torture tests or anything like that on it. We're just going to kind of go over the features here. I did carry this flashlight for a little while, and it worked great. I took it to work, and it made me a true believer. It is very, very nice. The lanyard and the USB-C charging cable, as I said earlier, I want to show you guys that it does have a pocket clip on the back. It's got a little loop or a little spot for your lanyard to go in right here, just like that. And pull it on through. Then you have a little adjustment tab if you want to put it on your wrist. If you want to put it on something instead of carrying it, you can just adjust it from here. Simple as that. Whatever you want to do. I would carry it my wrist. That's just me, my preference. I would prefer to carry it in my pocket, as I have already. It did take a little bit of a learning curve, and I'll go over that a little bit later in the video on the learning curve that I had to do with it. So let's just go ahead and talk about some of the features. Here's your custom button. Now you have two buttons. There's two pushes. You have a half push, which you guys can see there. If you push and hold it for a little bit, you're going to get whatever the lowest ultra setting. If you click it all the way down, it pulls and stays on. And you're going to cycle through your output settings right there. So it's going to cycle through the output settings. There's your ultra low. You guys can see right here on the mat. I'm going to try to flash the light down here so you guys aren't getting the output quite as bright. We are going to do a strobe here in a little bit, so this is kind of a forewarning that we are going to have a strobe. But there is your ultra low. There is your low indication, medium, high. Okay. Now this is, if I push this little, that is your tail cap. Now whatever I put that on is what it's going to be every time I turn it on. I push that little momentary, the little partial button, nothing's there. Now you have a momentary tail cap button right here, and that is when you get your 3,000 lumens. So for instance, there's your high, push the momentary button, there's your 3,000 lumens or turbo mode. Now we can put this in strobe mode. All you're going to do is you're going to push and hold that momentary button down, and then push that all the way down, push your power on off button all the way down, and it puts it into strobe mode. Now every time I push that momentary button, it's going to strobe. You don't like that, push and hold that, push your on off button, and it goes back to momentary non-strobe, or turbo mode is what they're calling it. Now this has a half lock and a full lock. It's very simple to do. We're going to go ahead and put this down into let's just put it in mid mode. Now it's not going to return to this, it's always going to return to ultra, but to put it into lock mode, you're going to push your on off button down all the way, and you get one lock, one little flash right there. See? It just flashes once. That's it. I can still use my momentary if I needed to, but I cannot use that. To take that out of, now this is called half lock because it's only locked that button out. We can still use that momentary button. To take it out, we're going to push this one really quick, and then we're going to hold it down. Once these output indications start lighting up, it turns on, back to the ultra low. Now, like I said, we put this in medium when we locked it out. We're going to do it again. I'm going to show you a full lockout. We're going to push and hold this. That's going to flash once, then it's going to flash twice. That means it's fully locked out. The momentary button doesn't work. Nothing works until we do that whole one quick tap and a hold. Now, if you forget that information, go ahead and shut this off. It's very, very nice because that information is put right here on the back of it, okay? So if you forget that information, it tells you how to actually lock it and unlock it. Very, very cool. You don't need to carry around the owner's manual, any of that stuff, so this works very, very nice. I like the quick little reference on the very back here. This is made of aluminum. You do have your 220 UHI LED lights right there in the front, and if you do hold this down for very long in the turbo mode, this is going to get very hot. Now, that's exactly what this is. It's the only time this gets up to 3,000 lumens is if you're holding that momentary button. If you push and hold this down, it's only going to be set at whatever output you have it at. If you leave it at high and you shut it off, it's always going to come back on high unless you lock it out. If you lock it out, it'll come back down to ultra low. There's our battery indication. I have, like I said, I have used this at work and I had no issues with it at work. I ran it down to about the second notch there, second light there, second LED indicator. It took about 35-40 minutes for it to charge back up fully. So it doesn't take very long to charge. Very nice. I like that idea. This has a pocket clip on the side. I did carry it in my pocket for a little while. The one feature that I didn't like, or the one complaint that I started to have at first, was that every time I went to reach for it in my pocket, I would reach down similar to this. Since I'm right-handed, figure this needs to be my left. I'd reach down for it in my left hand, and I was grabbing it along these little textured areas here and pulling it out, and then having to readjust. And I was always readjusting it to like that, so where I could readjust it to hit the tail cap. Lesson learned after about a day of carrying it, I started reaching down and feeling for this little divot right here, and I'd pull it out of my pocket like this, rotate, swing my thumb over, and I would hit the momentary instead. Okay? So very nice. And then all I do is if I needed to keep it on, I would roll my thumb down and turn it on. Boom, just that simple. And that's what I started doing, was using kind of the back bottom part of my pad to run that indicator. I would like to see these switches are flipped around, especially for people that are right-handed. That's going to be more intuitive to have your tail cap up here, push it, and have it on. And then to roll down if I need more light, just to roll my thumb down. So it's kind of backwards for right-handed people. And if you're right-handed, you're usually going to run a flashlight in your left hand. But still, nonetheless, it worked very well. The 3,000 lumens, I can tell you, are very bright. If you strobe with them and they hit something white and it reflects back off, it's going to be it's going to catch your attention. So let's go ahead. We're going to take this bad boy outside, and I'll show you guys what this looks like at night in the dark, so you guys can kind of get a little bit better view or a better idea of what this looks like outside in the dark. There's our battery level. Now I'm going to go ahead and hold this off to the right-hand side so you guys can see. There's battery level, tail cap, ED. There's our ultra low, low, medium, high. Now you can push the strobe button and get your turbo if you want, or if you need it. And we're going to cycle through again. Ultra low, low, medium,
high. Very cool. If we're going to lock this out, we're going to hold and push, and that one blink is going to indicate that it is locked. And to unlock the tail cap, we're going to click it once and then push and hold, and we'll get that little indicator. We're back. Now if you want to double lock it, or fully lock it is what they're calling it, you push and hold that tail cap till we get the double blinks like that, and now nothing works at all. We do not have the strobe, we don't have anything. Okay, there's our battery, and we're back to that again. And if we half lock it, we can still use our strobe or our turbo. Alright, let's head back to the table. I'll give you my final thoughts on the EDC25.
Well, I highly recommend it if you guys are looking for a little EDC flashlight. I like the slenderness of this. It fits very well in my pocket. If you do run the turbo for a while, just note that it says hot right there. Put it in your pocket. It's going to feel a little warm. It is going to be warm. It's not going to be hot enough to start a fire that I know of. I haven't had a fire in my pants yet, but it is hot. Definitely is hot. It does take a little bit to cool down. I like the indication right there of the light and the battery. Your USB-C charging cable goes in right there. And a little bit of a boom push in. Pocket clips, very nice. Nitecore, I think you guys are knocking this out of the park. I'm going to go ahead and add this into my battle belt because I like the feature of it being locked out. I can charge this, lock this out, put it in my battle belt. If things really went sideways, I could pull this out of my battle belt, use a momentary light, but I know it's not going to be getting turned on and turned off setting it in my battle belt because I can lock it out. So I'm going to do a partial lock on it, do a half lock on it is what they're calling it, put it in my battle belt, and if time's called for it, I needed to pull it out, I can pull it out, hit the light real quick, and then if I needed to adjust or whatever, I can push and hold, do my quick little tap on this, and get it to unlock. Very cool, very nice little flashlight. EDC25, Nitecore just came out with it. It's only been out for about a week. So I appreciate them sending me out something that is brand new to the market that they're just now coming out with. If you guys want to know more about this, I'll leave a link to Nitecore's webpage in the description down below. If you like content like this, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? We have great content like this. We review guns, optics, and other products. So go ahead, subscribe if you're not already. Thanks for shooting the breeze with me, guys. We'll see you next time.